Guys, good morning, one and all. What is going on? Welcome to my live review for last night's edition of SmackDown Live. We're going to be breaking down and covering everything that took place on the taped edition of SmackDown as WWE is in the midst of its European tour. Of course, it emanated last night from Manchester, UK. So, overall, I thought this was actually a solid edition of SmackDown. And if you guys are just tuning in to join me, thank you for tuning in live. I always appreciate that. We certainly have a lot to talk about coming out of this show. Of course, Crown Jewel was on Friday. And as you noticed, I didn't do anything for Crown Jewel. I didn't watch it. I had no desire to watch it. And I'm happy to say that I'm glad I didn't, because apparently I heard it was really just a giant waste of time with a lot of bizarre results, such as Lesnar winning the Universal Championship again. I'm like, okay, whatever. Shane McMahon being the best in the world, and we will talk about that. Shane McMahon winning the World Cup. Just a head-scratcher right there. And the tag match between DX and the Brothers of Destruction. I'm just like, why are we doing this? Why? Why? So all in all, I can say I'm glad I didn't waste 4 hours of my life on Friday devoted to that. Of course, we had Raw on Monday, now SmackDown last night. We are, of course, we're only 2 weeks away from Survivor Series, so there's not really a whole lot of time to build for the Survivor Series pay-per-view. But looking at the card right now, and I'm going to pull it up here right in front of me, the Survivor Series 2018 card is actually looking pretty solid so far, I have to say here. You know, we have, of course, our traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series matchup. We have, and I'll get this going right here. Give me a minute, guys. There we go. Oop. There we go. We have AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. So the one positive that I can say coming out of Lesnar winning the Universal Championship is that we are going to see a rematch. And I thought these two had an excellent match last year between Styles and Lesnar, champion versus champion. Now, of course, I would like to see AJ Styles win. The likelihood of that happening, probably not so much. This matchup right here, Becky Lynch versus Rowdy Ronda Rousey. In my eyes, and in my opinion, I feel this could main event the show. And I would be perfectly fine with this match main eventing the show. I think these two are going to go in there, and Becky's going to give Ronda her best match to date. Her here first, but I think a lot of us, know Becky's been killing it as SmackDown Women's Champion, and it'll be interesting to see who goes over in this match. But of course, I will save that for my predictions video in 1 week's time. Another match here that looks really good on paper. Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. United States Champion versus Intercontinental Champion. I mean, I don't know. Have these two ever faced before? I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I think it'll be a match worth watching. And, of course, we have our women's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match, the men's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match. And I don't know why we're doing this 5-on-5 tag team traditional Survivor Series match. That was a cluster the last time they did it. And we have AOP versus The Bar, which I think will be a really solid, hard-hitting match. So those are the matches that we have lined up. We'll get back over here on the webcam. There we go. Those are the matches that we currently have advertised for Survivor Series in 2 weeks' time on November the 18th. Now let's talk about SmackDown, because we had a lot of implications here for the Survivor Series. So Paige comes out. She introduces none other than the SmackDown Commissioner, Shane McMahon, who's the best in the world. And the crowd was really not happy about this, as was I. I'm like, why did Shane McMahon win the World Cup? I mean, it's not like I gave a shit about the World Cup, honestly, because it was Crown Jewel. Who gives a shit about that show? But it's just like, okay. And then Shane talks about this trophy belongs to everyone on the SmackDown Live roster. And then we just quickly segue from that into promoting the upcoming Survivor Series card. And the first announcement is that Daniel Bryan will be SmackDown Live captain. Bryan comes down to the ring. Then The Miz comes out. He says, this ain't right. This is a joke. I beat Daniel Bryan. I beat him multiple times. And, I was in the finals of that World Cup trophy. And that technically 2/3 of that trophy is his. And he says, we are both the best in the world. And Miz says, I should be team captain of SmackDown Live. And then Shane says, well, based on your performance, Miz, Daniel Bryan and The Miz will be co-captains heading into Survivor Series. So obviously setting up some tension, animosity between these two. I actually like this, to be honest. You know, it'll be interesting to see how, you know, Miz and Bryan interact due to being rivals over the past number of months, going back years. So now to see them try and coexist heading into Survivor Series, I think it could be an interesting story to tell. So we'll see where that is headed as it played out throughout the rest of the night. Bryan and Miz arguing and bickering. And then we had our first pick. And Bryan and Miz both selected Shane. And I'm just like, did we really have to have Shane McMahon on the Survivor Series team again? Because it worries me. Is this just all going to be about Shane McMahon again? I mean, it's just like McMahon-omania is running wild, brother. It's just like, what are we doing? I would have rather have seen this spot go to somebody like a Rusev, who will probably not be on the Survivor. Well, he's not. He's not going to be on because we had the rest of our picks throughout the night. So poor Rusev gets the shaft here. Poor Shane McMahon, who is the best in the world, by the way. Don't forget that. He is the best in the world. Thanks, Vince. God. You know what was good on this show? The New Day versus the Usos. I swear these two couldn't have a bad match if they tried. It's just great stuff. I mean, we've seen this match before, but I honestly never get tired of seeing these two teams go in there and battle one another. And this was the right to captain the Cluster FUCK, as I'm calling it, 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series tag team match. Jeez, that's just going to be a mess. So we had the Usos. Jimmy Uso went up and hit a Superfly Splash for the win on Kofi Kingston. And the Usos picked the New Day as the first members of SmackDown Live's Tag Team Survivor Series match. And they shake hands. This was a good match between, you know, two teams that are probably two of the best in WWE when it comes to tag team, you know, wrestling. Then we go backstage. Bryan talks to Miz. He says his first pick for his team is Rey Mysterio. And Miz says if Mysterio impresses him tonight in his match against Andrade Cien Almas, then he will be on the team. And for the last pick, Bryan and Miz will pick someone, and those two superstars will have a match. And the winner will get the final spot on SmackDown Live and end up being Samoa Joe, who the Miz picked, and Jeff Hardy, who Daniel Bryan picked. And then had Becky Lynch come out. She responded to Ronda Rousey and what she said. Lynch is just having a run of her career right here. I mean, heel turn or not, I think she just comes out. The crowd loves her. Even if you're supposed to boo her, it ain't going to happen. And she says she's been tested before, and she is the most relentless woman on the planet. And Rousey was handpicked. Lynch wasn't, but here she is. And she says it's not about, it's not Rousey's respect for Lynch is coming for her. It's Rousey's arm. And she says Rousey may be the baddest bitch, but at Survivor Series, she's going to make Rousey hers. And she calls out somebody from the back, anybody she wants a fight, somebody step up and face the champ. And Nikki Cross would come out with Sanity, which was a nice surprise here. The last time we saw Nikki Cross on the main roster was for the Evolution announcement, and that was all the way back in July. It was just a quick, hey, cameo appearance, but this was Nikki Cross's, I'm assuming, official debut, unless it was just a treat for the UK fans. We'll have to see going forward. But I think Nikki Cross on SmackDown with Sanity, who desperately needs some momentum because they have just completely made Sanity into an afterthought, which is a shame. I thought that could be a nice addition to the tag team division. You could do some different stuff with them in regards to their gimmick, but they really haven't done much of anything with them. Just had them pretty much lose. So we had a nice little match here, Becky Lynch versus Nikki Cross. And Lynch was able to put Nikki Cross in the disarmor, and Nikki Cross tapped out. So a little disappointed to see that, but hey, you know, it is what it is. You got to make Becky Lynch look strong heading into that match against Ronda Rousey on Sunday in 2 weeks' time. So it's still great to see Nikki Cross here. I hope she is on SmackDown. I just think on Raw she would easily be lost in the shuffle. And if you put her back with Sanity, like I said, those guys desperately need something for them to get them going. And I feel Nikki Cross would be that answer. She is easily the most entertaining part of that group. We then had Rey Mysterio versus Andrade Cien Almas. My match of the night right here. Man, I could just watch these two wrestle another 10 minutes. Great chemistry here, as you would expect between these two. Hell, I'd love to see this match. You know, we're going to do it. Let's do it for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Just some great stuff here where Mysterio tried to hit the 619. Almas picked Mysterio up for an electric chair. Eventually, Mysterio dropped Almas with the slip and slide DDT. Mysterio hit the 619, followed by the dropping dime for the win. So Rey Mysterio is officially a part of Team SmackDown Live. So we got The Miz, we got Rey Mysterio, Shane McMahon, and Daniel Bryan. And we move on here. And of course, after the match, I have to mention this. Randy Orton hit old Rey Mysterio with an RKO out of nowhere. So I believe we'll see these two feud heading into TLC. It would not surprise me. What's going on, Jake? Thank you for tuning into this live review. Do I think Becky is going to win? That match could go either way. I think you have to be very careful because you don't want to hurt Ronda's momentum. And you don't want the crowd to turn on Ronda. Because you know they're going to be coming in hot for Becky. I think Becky will get the... it'll be a split reaction, I think. But I would love to see Becky win. But I don't see Ronda losing, at least until WrestleMania. Unless you do some kind of fuck finish. That's just my opinion. We had Paige announce the SmackDown Live women's team of Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville. Hey, remember me when I used to be dominant? Asuka and Charlotte. And that basically was what it was. Oh, and AJ Styles cut a nice promo saying in back how he's taking on Brock Lesnar again. I think if Brock's motivated and gives a shit, we could be in store for Brock's best match in a long, long time. Because I can't remember the last time I enjoyed a Brock Lesnar match. I really have to go back and think. So hopefully Brock gives a shit when he shows up at Survivor Series. But knowing him, he probably won't. Then it's Samoa Joe versus Jeff Hardy. Joe picks up the win here after he puts Jeff Hardy in the coquina clutch. And Jeff Hardy taps out. Samoa Joe is the final member of Team SmackDown Live. Bryan and Miz are out sitting outside. Commentary. Joe gets right in Bryan's face, so I think that's teasing a match between these two, possibly at TLC. We'll see. Bryan puts Joe in the yes lock. Miz pulls Bryan off Joe. Miz is decked by Daniel Bryan. Shane comes in, and Bryan tosses Shane to the mat, and Bryan just walks away. So chaos, confusion, and conflict are the three words that I could best describe Team SmackDown Live heading into Survivor Series, which, like I said, looking at this card on paper, once again, Survivor Series 2018, open for a really, really solid show here. Like I said, we got our champion versus champion matches. Those are all looking good on paper. 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. For the men, I mean, on the Raw side of things, you've got Ziggler, McIntyre, Strowman. That's a solid pairing right there. I could see Elias being added to that, and I would love to see Finn Balor. Just give Balor something of note to do. That would be nice, but it'll probably be Lashley. Lashley. Let me know when that gets annoying because God knows every Monday that is annoying as hell, Leo Rush. And looking at the SmackDown Live side of things, got Miz, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe. The only problem I have here is Shane being on that. I would have taken him out for Rusev. But like I said, we could be in store for a solid 5-on-5 men's elimination match, as long as it's not completely focused around Shane. Can we not do that again? Because I thought last year that 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match was a huge disappointment considering the star power that match had. We will, of course, find out the team members for Raw on Monday, along with Stephanie McMahon coming back, so woohoo. And Brock Lesnar will actually make an appearance. So you know what? If Raw is actually good, I might come up here and do a review. We will see. But on the SmackDown side of things, we have Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and I believe Charlotte. I'm assuming Charlotte will be the final person. And yeah, so Survivor Series is looking good to hopefully wash the stench of Crown Jewel, Crown Fool out of everybody's mouth. So hopefully it delivers. We got NXT TakeOver War Games coming up. I, of course, will be back up here for another video whenever that may be. Also, be sure to check out my personal vlog. I worked on my kicks. The 8 basic kicks that I've been working on with the Kickmaster, Ben Garten, and the Matt Kane of the Kane Action Team. So be sure to check out those guys' channels. 2 great friends up in Akron who have helped me a lot and get me to where I'm going here. And will be part of my first film project, Woo Sha 2, The Code. Be sure to check out the trailer for that film. The link will be down below in the description box. I will be shooting on November the 17th and December the 16th. Got some scenes lined up. So I will be making my official on-camera debut. So we will see where that leads. So very grateful and thankful for that opportunity as well. So got a lot going on, a lot coming up. So that does it for this video, guys. Remember to click the like and subscribe button here on youtube.com/DanielGuyzer412 for all my latest thoughts. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at DanielGuyzer412 and be sure to check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/DanielGuyzer1994. So until then, guys, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.